Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today we're going to be making this adorable little berry basket that holds 4 mini cards with 4 matching envelopes. And I also have this as a class kit to go if you're interested, so check out my blog. But in the meantime, let's get started making this cute little project. First, we'll make the berry basket, and to make the berry basket, we're going to need the berry basket die using Sahara Sand cardstock, and you'll run it through your Big Shot twice. Each pass through, or the die makes half of the berry basket. To assemble it, I'm going to use the mini stapler by Stampin' Up! And some Tombow. All right, so first of all, to make the basket itself, it couldn't be any easier. We're just going to, it has the score lines right on it, and I'm just going to finger pinch them. And so it die cuts and scores at the same time. So it doesn't get any easier than that. And we're going to overlap the bottoms. We're going to make a little crisscross here. And I'm going to take my Tombow glue and put a little bead around the edges. And then we'll just line that up to go right inside. And the Tombow allows you to have just a little bit of play while you line things up. And you just kind of line up the bottoms of the square there. There we go. So that's the bottom of the berry basket. Next, you can choose the trim on the berry basket. For this project, I'm going to use the scallop option, so we can just take the straight edges and push that aside. And again, it's going to score the berry basket top. So that's going to make half the berry basket top, and I'll do it with the second one. So again, just find it, the score mark there at the end, and then there's another one in the center. Next, what I like to do is I like to just staple the edges together. It's a personal preference, but if you actually look at a berry basket from the market, all of the tops are stapled. And so I'm going to just go ahead while I've got my mini stapler out. That's just what I'm going to use for it. So I just made sure that the staple did not go over our score line there in the corner. So again, I'm just going to line that up, overlap it, and then open it up so I can staple it easily. And put that in there, making sure I don't go over that connecting line. And there's the lid. Stampin' Up! Gave a wonderful little tip on assembling the basket top to it. We want to assemble it upside down. And so for the scallops, I want the scallops to be facing up, because again, we're going to assemble it upside down. And then we're going to take our berry basket and put it in the center and just kind of let it open up and relax within it. So does that make sense? So you just kind of put it in there and let it relax. And then what I like to do, whoops, get that in there, is find one here on the side. I like to come in here on the corners, and I'm going to do it on this side here, but I'm going to come in on the corners and I'm going to pinch it and then pick it up, and then I can kind of make sure that the edges are flush. Take my mini stapler and staple right in the middle. And then, so I've got it stapled here, and I'm going to go ahead and pinch and turn it and go the opposite side. And I like to do the opposite sides first and then staple. Get our third side. Turn, and again, you're lining up the top edge here, kind of just show you. So there's that edge, and just line it up. By doing the opposites, it kind of helps stabilize it a little bit. And I'm just stapling in the center. You can staple wherever you like. Now on our fourth side, what I want to do is tuck a half of a doily. So I just took a doily and cut it in half. You can do that on your Stampin' Trimmer. And I want to tuck this underneath the little lip of our trim of our berry basket. So I'm going to tuck it like so, and then staple. So that's going to save us this gluing step down the road. And so that's it. That's as simple as what it is to put the berry basket together to get such a cute look. Okay, so now let's decorate the top. So for my berry basket, I use the matching and coordinating, I should say, framelit and die set, the butterfly thinlits, and the butterfly basic stamp set. And I went ahead and die cut out the little filigree butterfly. And when you run this through your Big Shot, the tip is, and we'll see this here in just a little bit of how it looks when it's all done, but what you'll want to do is take your cardstock, I'm using Soft Sky, a piece of wax paper, and then put your framelit over top of it and run it through the Big Shot. And you want that wax layer because it helps release all of that little intricacy from your die. And you get an image that looks like this. I've also then stamped the coordinating image from Butterfly Basics, and we'll be using the stamp here in a little bit. I stamped that on a piece of Whisper White using Calypso Coral and die cut out the coordinating framelit die. You could also fussy cut that. Okay, so like I said, I ran this through with that wax paper layer, and what I do is I take a wooden skewer. You could use a toothpick or any sharp edge or anything. You could even use your paper piercer. I kind of like these wooden skewers because you know, I don't feel like I'm going to actually pierce the paper like with the piercing tool. And then the little longer skewer, you know, I can hold it a little more comfortably in my hands. You can find these wooden skewers in the baking section of, you know, Walmart or any of those type of stores. You know, you get a bazillion of them for 99 cents. Okay, so you have something that looks like this. We've got all of our little openings punched out, and then the wax paper is still on there. So you just peel that wax paper layer off, and actually you get a really pretty little butterfly that you can do another project with. So, you know, you can throw that away if you want, or, you know, put it on another project, but we're not going to use that. And we're going to have this image of the butterfly. I'm going to slightly fold it, give it a little wings, and I'm going to take my Tombow multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to go on the back side down the body of our butterfly and put him just about, oops, almost forgot. Okay, we don't want to put the butterfly on yet. Oops, got to put our little banner because we want to do something to cover up that staple. So I've got a piece of crushed curry cardstock, and this is cut at 3.5 by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to take the banner punch and come in on the top of it and cut out my little tail. Now you could take your paper snips and, you know, cut out the tail itself. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so again, I like to have this to cover the staple. Put a little bit of Tombow on that, and that's going to go right here. Okay, now we can get to the butterfly and put that on it. So much better to cover up that staple. This was a project that Stampin' Up! Gave us demonstrators in our Stampin' Up! Magazine that we get as demonstrators, and I just loved it. I thought it was so pretty. I wanted to replicate it myself. So I'm casing it right from Stampin' Up! And again, I'm going to put the other butterfly layer on there, and I'm positioning it so that the head of the blue peeks out. Okay, and then I took a piece of Whisper White Baker's Twine, made a little bow, and again I'm going to just use Tombow and put a little dot right in the center, and get my pre-made bow, and just kind of hold that into place for just a second. and let that dry for just a moment, and then you get something that looks like that. Super cute! Now let's make some coordinating cards to put in our little gift box. So our gift cards and mini gift cards and envelope are going to use, again, the Butterfly Basics, and we're going to use this image here that's going to coordinate back to our die. This is the butterfly image, and then we're going to stamp that in Calypso Coral. And we're going to have the leaf image from the stamp set. We're going to use Pear Pizzazz. And there's this little honeycomb looking image here. And we're going to use that in Soft Sky. But what I'm going to show you is how we're going to do all of this in an assembly line fashion. Okay, so I already have one because our little gift box is going to have a set of 4. And this is what we did when the girls got together with me and we made this. So thanks for stopping yesterday, girls, and making the project with me. Okay, so I'm going to take again Calypso Coral, and I've got our butterfly. Let that rest just a little bit. I've got the photopolymer one. I'm using the piercing mat, and I've got a little paper towel over it to protect the surface. And I'm just going to randomly stamp images on our 3x3 mini card, which really starts out at a 6x3 folded in half. So if you don't want to watch me stamp, feel free to go ahead and, fast forward the video. And I always like to have the coordinating, no naked envelopes, right? So we're going to go ahead and have some cute little coordinating envelopes with it. And again, I'm not making them all uniform. They're all going to be slightly different. Okay, so we're done with the butterfly image. So next, let's bring in the leaf. And again, I'm using Pear Pizzazz. And this is definitely, you want to have your towel down over your mat, so that your paper towel, so that you don't get ink all over everything. So now I'm just going to, grab it. And again, we're just going to randomly, put some images on it. I'm kind of purposely trying to make each one a little unique. So we'll get this. If you have any smudge marks on it, like here's one that I got a little bit on. I'm going to go ahead and take the leaf and put that right over top of it. So if you have any little imperfections, there's always a fix to it. Or most of the time there is, I should say. Sometimes we know as stampers we just have to start over, don't we? Okay, so we've got that. Get the Pear Pizzazz off to the side. Next, it's going to be Soft Sky with the little honeycomb image. And this one, it almost feels like that you can't see it when you ink it up with these lighter colors, but try not to over ink when you do this, and test drive it once and just see the image. So again, I'm going to lightly just let it rest with the photopolymers on the ink to let it pick up. And if you do want to have a sentiment on it, you can either leave a space that you can stamp, or you can stamp the sentiment first. I'm going to go ahead and, I like to stamp it last for some reason. But I do want to leave like an open space. So again, I'm just kind of randomly layering the image, or the images all over, so each one has a different look. And don't be afraid to take this image and put it at an angle. So hopefully that kind of shows up. That sky blue is really light. It just gives that little subtleness to the background of it. Okay, so here's my envelopes. And see, this is like, if you wouldn't be, talking through it like I am right now, you could really get a quick little assembly line for this card part of it. The gals got through it in just no time at all, making all of theirs. So I'm going to take 2 of the sentiments from the Butterfly Basics. I'm going to use There's Nothing in the Caterpillar That Tells You It's Going to Be a Butterfly, and Sending Wishes Your Way. I'm going to give these as gifts, so I wanted to use these two sentiments. They're probably the most generic that the recipients can use, and so I'm going to choose not to do the happy birthday, but you know, of course you can do that if you would like. And now I'm going to definitely make sure that I have my cards and not my envelopes, using Tuxedo Black Memento ink and inking up my images with it. And let's see, put this one up in the corner. Again, find the little white spaces that you have. So cute. So I'm going to do 2 with Sending Wishes Your Way. So we'll put this one right over in here. Cute. And then on this one, we'll go ahead and do There's Nothing in the Caterpillar That Tells You It's going to Be a Butterfly. And we'll get that stamped right here. So cute. Just that easy to make a nice little collection of mini note cards with matching envelopes. So now we have our 4 mini cards with the 4 mini envelopes, and we could put it in there in the container just like this. Super cute, just to hold it. But what I like to do is kind of make a little filler for the basket. And so what I did is I cut, I think this is approximately 16 strips of designer paper that would work with your color palette. And on this I actually used the Best Year Ever, the free Celebration Designer Series paper. So take a 12 by 1/4 strip and just, you know, cut as many as what you like for to make your filler. And, oops, excuse my arm. I'm using an old tried but true tool. So if Stampin' Up! Doesn't carry this crimper anymore, but I'll show you 2 ways of making the little crinkle paper. One, if you do happen to have a crimper around in your Stampin' Stash, run the paper through the crimper. You know, and that's going to automatically give you the crinkles. Okay, so you would just run that through. And again, Stampin' Up! Has this tool retired, but I think you could probably find it still at other hobby stores. So you would do that with all of the 16 strips and put it in there. If you don't have a crimper, you can have the crimper that God gave you and just, you know, crinkle the paper in your hand. So, you know, you can just go ahead and, you know, crinkle your own paper. So whichever way that you like it. And what this is going to do is we're going to kind of put as little or much of that in the basket as what you want. So I like to do that, and then I'm going to take my little note card gifts and kind of fuss with it so that it has a little bed of this designer series grass, so to speak, to rest in. Super cute. Look how cute that is. So I think my moms are going to be getting this for Easter when I go and see them on Easter. Also would make a great Mother's Day gift or ladies gift, as well as just to get some friends together to make it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little berry basket inspiration from me that I got from Stampin' Up! And enjoy. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today we're going to be making this really adorable little berry basket. And it's going to be decorated using the Butterfly Thinlits and the Butterfly Basic stamp set. And it's also going to hold 4 little mini cards and 4 matching envelopes. So let's get started making this cute little gift.